Susan Windmiller, former president of the South Florida League of Women Voters and the state of Florida League of Women Voters, now on to even bigger and better positions. Thank you so much for coming out today and addressing our Osher Lifelong Learning student group once again. You are one of the most passionate and favorite speakers the last few times we ran our class, so appreciate that you could work that out for us. So give me just a second to make sure that you are the full screen. Thank you. Welcome.
Ellen, thank you for that gracious and lovely introduction. I am, as always, thrilled to be with you and participating in everything that you do, because you too share a passion for the environment and climate action, and we both speak the same language. The thing I want to really share with the students today, the most important takeaway, is that your voice matters. Never think for a single moment that your voice doesn't count and that your vote doesn't matter. That is the whole point of this presentation. So if that's what you walk away with, I will be very pleased. So let's flip backwards in time when our wonderful governor, Rick Scott, was in office, and he put in place with his Secretary of State, Ken Detzner, a rule that said there would be no early voting sites on college campuses in Florida. Okay, and remember, you know, he's obviously a Republican. Many students would probably either register as NPAs or Democrats. There are not as many that are registering as Republicans. So this was clearly a form of voter suppression. The League of Women Voters Florida jumped into action, sued the governor, and on July 24th, 2018, U.S. District Judge Mark Walker ruled that it was unconstitutional to have this ban in place, restricting early voting sites on college campuses. So right away, the league contacted the supervisors of elections across the 67 counties in Florida, especially where there's a public university, and they all started to fall into line. So we had, I'm not sure I get all the counties right, but we had Alachua County for UF, we had Leon County for Florida State, we had the West Coast for the South Florida, and Orange County for University of Central Florida. And so, of course, we thought Miami-Dade College and Florida International University would be next for Miami-Dade County as the largest county in the state of Florida with almost 3 million people. And the supervisor of elections said, no, 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 absolutely not. And, you know, we couldn't figure this out. Why would the office that is entrusted with ensuring voter access would restrict these young kids from voting? Wouldn't she want to set as an example? And in fact, immediately after that ruling, Eduardo Padron, the president of the University of Miami-Dade College, I think it was like August, it was early August, he sent a letter to Christina White, the supervisor of elections for Miami-Dade, saying that exact thing. Let's inspire our young people. Let's encourage them to be responsible citizens in their communities and make voting easy for them in 2018. So let's think, why would Christina White, the supervisor of elections, say no? Christina White is an appointed supervisor of elections. All the other counties, they are elected. And pretty soon, because of a constitutional amendment, that position is going to be elected in Miami-Dade County too. But at that time, she was appointed. Who was she appointed by? Carlos Jimenez, mayor of Miami-Dade County. Now, the mayor of Miami-Dade County is a nonpartisan position, but we all know that he's a registered Republican and in fact is a very important leader of the Republican Party in his community in the state of Florida. So in lockstep with Rick Scott, he doesn't want to see he doesn't want to see Democratic votes expanded in Miami-Dade County. So he said to Christina White, no way, Jose, we are not expanding this. So the League of Women Voters jumped into action because this was just totally wrong. And in true fashion, I have learned through my experience in the League that if you really want to make an impact, you don't go it alone. You have to get people to stand with you. So we put together a coalition, and Ellen, I went back to my notes to see who everybody was, because of course we had the ACLU, But we also had some other important organizations. There was a voting group that Dan Horton ran at FIU. We had the Center for Social Change. We had Engage Miami, which is a voter engagement organization for young people. We had FIU Student Government. We had Miami-Dade College Institute for Civic Engagement. We had many partners working with us to stand with us. So it was not just the league, but it was a broad spectrum of community partners, many student organizations. One of the things that we realized was that they were saying that the official reason they weren't going to expand the voting size was because it was a budgetary issue, it was a cost factor. So the budget was being heard, we are now advancing to September. The budget was being heard on September 12th. We orchestrated a press conference in front of the county hall that day. And sure, I could have been the speaker at that press conference, but how important and impressive and impactful would it be if we had a student? So we worked with our partner at FIU, and in fact, we found the perfect student because she was a Republican. And she said, I have registered as a Republican. I am a Republican voter. I thought, woo, great. And she stood there and said that she's in medical school, she has practicums, she goes to school, she works at the hospital, her time, she has like no time. And it would be so great if when she's in class on campus at FIU, she could cast her vote. We couldn't have scripted it more perfect. So then we have the budget hearing inside. Of course, the mayor is completely mortified. And what do you think happens? The very next day, he releases a press release that says FIU is now going to be the site of an early voting site on campus. Woo-hoo, okay, that's great. What about Miami-Dade College? Nothing about Miami-Dade College. So there's, in case you don't know the budget process, there's 2 budget hearings, 2 weeks apart. So we went to our partner at Miami-Dade College, the Institute for Civic Engagement, and said, get us a group of students. We're going to go back to the commission at the second budget hearing. So we worked with a young student leader by the name of Rebecca Diaz, who was so passionate and so terrific. And we coached her, gave her speaking points, gave her the background, and advised her that when she spoke at the commission meeting that day, she needed to have a group of students with her so that when she went to the podium, she was surrounded behind her with a large group of students, and they were all wearing their beautiful light blue Miami-Dade College t-shirts. So not only was that important for the commissioners to see sitting at the dais, but of course, if you're familiar, the meetings are broadcast. And so for a viewer at home, they would see this adorable young woman speaking at the podium, but instead of all the people in the audience, she had all of her other colleagues, students, dressed in their t-shirts. Well, she was so great. She must have really practiced her message because I spoke first and gave a little timeline of how things had progressed with everything that had happened from the judge's ruling through to the present day. And there had also been several op-eds. We had students write op-eds that were published in the Miami Herald. So there was a lot going on in the community. People were beginning to get the idea of what was going on. So Rebecca came behind me and she made her impassioned presentation. And lo and behold, the next day, Carlos Jimenez issues a statement saying that they will have 2 sites added, and we thought that actually there would be 3 sites. He added North Campus and South Campus. He did not add the downtown Woolston campus, but we did get 2 sites, and the postscript is that 6,500 voters voted at these 3 new early voting sites on campus in the 2018 midterm election. So again, I conclude by saying your voice matters, your vote matters. If you have something that you want to do, never ever think for a moment that you can't do it, because guess what? You can. We did, and we won. I can't hear you.
Unmute. Thank you. I always love this story. I get so excited.
I talk so fast. Okay.
Yeah,
Did we
no,
get it?
yeah, yes, we did. And let me just stop the